Trinity. Well, we're in Proverbs 11 today, and there are quite a few verses here worth stopping and reading. One gives freely, yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what he should give, and only suffers want. That's true, isn't it? That the amount we give does not necessarily determine how little we end up with in the end. But the verse that I really want to look at is back here in verse 12, Proverbs 11:12, that says, "Whoever belittles his neighbor lacks sense, but a man of understanding remains silent." Whoever belittles his neighbor lacks sense, but a man of understanding remains silent. This reminds me of a time. When would this have been? 2014, the fall of 2014. I was at Gordon Conwell Seminary, which is a seminary pretty focused on scripture. I think you could describe it as kind of moderate to conservative. But I was taking one class at Boston University, which you could describe as pretty liberal. It was in the theology department, but yeah, liberal would be fair, liberal or progressive. And it was such an interesting experience once a week to drive down to Boston from the North Shore where we were and show up at BU and sit in a classroom that was totally opposite as far as theology is concerned to the classrooms that I usually sat in. But there was something I noticed sometimes happened on both sides, something they had in common about how different they were. And that was that when I was with the conservative students, sometimes there was this assumption that, well, we're all conservative, so it would be a good use of our time to just mock the people on the other side, whoever they are. And then when I went and took the class with the people on the other side, there was this assumption that, well, none of those people will be there, so it would be good for us to just mock those people. And it was interesting to me that even though these two groups have opposite views, they both share this in common, that they mock one another. It's one of the ways of signaling who they are and making people laugh and enjoying time together and making their point. We use mockery a lot, especially when we're with people that we assume are all just like us. Which is why I think it's good to stop and consider Proverbs 11:12. Whoever belittles his neighbor lacks sense, but a man of understanding remains silent. You know, it's not wrong. It's wise to disagree with people who are wrong. It's wise to disagree with your neighbor when your neighbor is wrong, and even to say so. Maybe with him, maybe with others, to talk it through, to think it through. That seems wrong. Why is that? Is that because of something in Scripture? Is that because of something theological? It's good to be able to say, that person's doing that, but that looks sinful, or that looks foolish, or that looks like something I should not do. It is good to disagree with people, but not to belittle. It says if you belittle your neighbor, it's because you lack sense. Even if you're right about the issue, belittling the person is not a good strategy to grow as a Christian or to help them or to help anybody, really. Mockery is not a good way to get anything done. It's the world's way, but it's not our way, because God is helping us. He's growing us in understanding, and he's helping us understand how to even disagree in a way that reflects Christ.